Greetings! Today we will be doing a tutorial video on how to run the time card temp payroll reports in uAttend. We'll go ahead and start here. I will send all of the logins separately, so you will have those. Then go ahead and enter them. You start at this screen with your email, log in. This for me is pre-populated, but like I said, I will go ahead and send that username and password. When you log in, the first thing that you want to do is go ahead and go to your time cards. You'll want to then go to the previous week, because this is how you'll see and make sure that everybody, so you go to the previous week, and then what I do is I just go through them one by one. I know because I received the emails, I see that there's days missing, but I know that they called in sick or that they were out because we get all of those emails. And then I just kind of walk through and I make sure that everybody has filled in all their time. I'm going to go ahead and take us to the end right here. I'm not going to make you look at all of them, but I would carefully go through one by one. Oh, look, I found one. I see here it looks like they messed up. This is Mark Bravo. It looks like he logged in, he took his lunch, and then he immediately clocked out after lunch. In a case like that, I call Juan. I say, hey, Juan, what day, or I tell him on Thursday the 17th, what time did Mark Bravo leave? Then I'll go ahead and I'll adjust that time. Then I continue walking through and I see, well, Cheryl Culverson is no longer with us, so I'll go ahead and archive her. Here's another one who forgot to clock out. So I make a little list. That way when I call Juan, I have all of them there. Now I've spoken with Juan, I've gotten all those hours cleaned up, and it's time to run reports. We run 3 different reports. Right before I run those reports, I do create my email. I title it Express Hours, and then for the week that we are reporting on, for this one it is this prior week, 1/14/19 through 1/20/19. It goes to the same people every single time, unless there's a change, at which point Express lets us know the new person. Currently, it goes to Ashley Romero and the owner of Express, John Weed. I always CC Accounts Payable, Dara, because she needs these reports to run against our internal pay for Express. And then we have the operations department, which is Juan, so that he can double check. Though I do always call him just to make sure all the hours look good. Then these are the reports that we run. The Express Temp Daily Hours, which is exactly what it sounds like on the tin. It's their hours for each day. Then we run the summary hours, which are their hours for the whole week, and then we run a temp payroll total, which is not hours, but it actually shows the billable total. So we'll go ahead now and go on back to our reports. So the first one we're going to run is that Express Daily Hours for the temps, and for that we go to Reports. So the first report we're going to run is the Express Temp Daily Hours. For that, we're going to run a punch report. You'll go in, you'll select your date range. This will, of course, be the prior week, so it'll be the 14th through the 20th. Our date ranges are always a Monday to a Sunday, so for next week, my report will be the 21st through the 27th. The first report that Pam, or whoever becomes responsible, will be doing then will be for the 4th through the 10th. So this report is from the 14th through the 21st, or excuse me, the 14th through the 20th. Now, you go ahead and you pick your department. At this time, we're only using Express. At times when we have a very high volume, we might also be using Manpower. We might also be using Eastridge. TEG stands for Eastridge. So we do want to make sure that we select the correct report. Again, at this time, we're only using Express. If you forget this step, it's not as critical, but it is an important step to do. Then you go ahead and you've got all of that. Now, even though I already manually went through them one by one, I do give it another scroll. I see if any of those red lines peek out. Does it look like they have clock in and clock out times? It sure does. All right, so that looks good. What I do then is I print it and I save it as a PDF because we're going to email that file. We're going to attach it. And so we go ahead and we save Express Temp daily hours 114 through 120. Now we're going to go ahead and run our next report. And we return to our reports dashboard. And for this one, we're going to run a pay period report. Again, you want to select which department you're working with. We're only working with the Warehouse Express. There are times where we might have admin temps, we might have accounting temps. That's what all of these codes are for. When we set up a temp, which will be a separate video tutorial, I'll go into more in depth what all of those codes mean. But for right now, we're just working with our Warehouse Express, and we want to run a report. It does default to the current week, so you want to go ahead and back it up to whatever week you're working with. For this one, it is January 14th through the 20th. This, again, is a summary of their hours total for the week. So it shows their regular time, it shows their overtime. If for any reason something here was missing, you'd want to go back into their user account and make sure that the time card looked correctly. So this one, again, is called the Express Temp Summary Hours because it is a summary of their weekly hours. Again, you'll go ahead and print. You'll save that as a PDF. This will be one of the many files, 3 each week that you go ahead and send. And then you have your final report. You'll actually stay on this window. You're going to switch from total hours to gross pay, and it will go ahead and generate. Now, these are not hours. We've had some confusion in the past because there's no dollar sign. Oh my gosh, they worked 291 hours. How is that even possible? So you'll notice in my email, I was very clear to say this is showing billable hours, billable totals, not hours. So again, go ahead and print that report out. Save as a PDF, and it is the Express Temp Payroll Totals. And now we'll go back to our email, and I have written it. Greetings, please find attached the 3 different reports. I remind them of this every week because it has come up a couple times, and I can see where it's confusing because, again, they don't have a dollar sign. So go ahead and attach your 3 reports. Once your 3 reports are run, attached, I go ahead, I make sure everything still looks good, and then away it goes. And that's how you run your payroll temp weekly reports. Next tutorial will be how to set up new temps. Thank you so much and enjoy working with the temps. They're some of the best people we've brought on.